It's a beautiful evening here in the city of Johannesburg, and we're live in the University of Johannesburg studio with some of the finest journalists in Nigeria. Stephen Angbelo, a senior correspondent with the Punch newspaper, and he just got back from the presentation of his paper on sustainability in media business at the University of Johannesburg. I'm also hanging out with Chimele of This Day, Prince of Vanguard newspaper. And right here we have Blessing with Woman FM. We just want to have a conversation as to how the study visit has been to South Africa. Let's begin with the chief speaker himself. We call him Senator Shagari within the MTN MIP. You had a fantastic presentation today. You held everyone spellbound, and we were looking at you from afar. Is this the same Stephen we know? How was that? How did it go?
Thank you
Walk
so
us
much for having
through
me.
the preparation process.
Thank you for having me on the show, Mr. Nifemi. And as like you all know, this has been long coming for all of us. We'll be looking forward to the Media Innovation Conference
Indeed.
organized by MTN in partnership with the
University of
Atlantic
Johannesburg.
University and the University of Johannesburg. And I would say that it has been the output or the outcome of an enabling environment, right? We have very fantastic coordinators. We have very fantastic fellows in this cohort. I would like to give an honorable mention to Mr. Johnston Pilaka, who was my co-researcher and co-author of this paper.
What about me, who reminded you that the presentation yesterday? Hello? By the way, we have all of the fellows in the studio with us, so you can hear them as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So special shout outs to Chiemele, the editor. Special shout outs to Mr. President for keeping me on my toes and keeping my mind open today. That today might be a surprise test for me. And also for Dr. Lakin Goodluck, who edited the manuscript of the paper, and special thanks to Professor Ezechukwu for the platform, right, for my nomination to present the paper on behalf of the rest of the fellows.
Absolutely.
It was a great one. Thank you.
I don't know about you guys, but have been spoiled in South Africa.
Yes.
I mean, the food has been something else. I have to literally clear space in my tummy to be able to accommodate the next dish. What's your experience been like, Chimele, since you got
The
to
food or the
Johannesburg?
content we've consumed so far.
Begin with the food.
The food. Let me skip the food because I've already added 10 kg for the food.
Oh my.
So I'm going to take away from South Africa is
Yes.
the issue of Pan-Africanism. Reporting Africa for Africa to the global audience. We don't let them tell our stories for us, because when they tell your stories, there's a likelihood that they'll be biased, and there might be likelihood of bias in misrepresenting what your continent is actually passing through. But when you tell your stories yourself, you'll be able to position the continent for a better future. And there's something else again that struck me was that South Africa and Nigeria are the leading lights in the continent. And if we keep this negative energy, it's not going to take us anywhere. But when we begin to work together, hand in hand, we will take our place in the community of nations. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Prince, the conversations have been quite engaging. I saw you ask some questions as it relates to some multinationals, finding their footings here on the continent. And I think you were concerned a little about not chasing them away because of the reparation. But talk to me about the major change in mindsets that you've had coming to Johannesburg, especially with the engagements we've had thus far.
Yeah, it's been quite fantastic. What have really remarkably, struck me is that the media landscape is the same everywhere. The things that are troubling us in Nigeria, the things that are troubling them here, the things that we are not being able to capture very well, it's also what they're not being able to capture very well. So there's really no demarcation, there's really no difference. The media landscape is just the media landscape everywhere. The discussion here about the big tech and taking what belongs to the media in Nigeria. It's a general one. It's also happening in Nigeria. But I think that they're not giving deep thought to what they're demanding. First of all, if somebody is stealing from you, you should be able to say what is stealing from you. You should be able to say, this is how much the person has stolen from me. But they don't know. How much have these people stolen from? We don't know. What have they stolen from you? Content. The content, where do you get the content in the first place? I think it's neither here nor there. But it's just for us to find a way.
It is an ongoing conversation, and I say that you're still very strong on your opinions. Blessing is right here. I remember while we were at the South African Institute of International Affairs, we were quite excited that South Africa also has a lot of unemployment statistics, and that Nigeria is not alone in all of its challenges. What's going to be the take home for you?
Okay, so for me, I think I'm going to start from where you stopped, talking about the challenges. I was saying something while we're on the bus here. I said, you can only talk about where you know. I mean, if you've been to other places, then you know that, after all, Nigeria is not that bad. I mean, these have people here who literally depend on the government for everything. But I mean, Nigerians are hard workers. We go all the way to, find our feet everywhere we find ourselves. So it was really good for me to know that despite all the noise on the social media about Nigeria, I am a proud ambassador of Nigeria. And I'm really excited. I mean, it's a good time to be proud of being in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
So talking about Pan-Africanism, I think I'm going to align my thoughts with that of Chiemeli. I'm pretty excited about development, and I'm all for using communication as a tool for social change. So going forward, I think it is just a way of strengthening my passion and what I stand for about using the media and communication as a tool to bring about change. Not just bringing about change now, using communication as a tool to amplify the good of Africa. I mean, we cannot just sit down there and say, oh, Africa is bad, it's not that. But I mean, it lies on us. It is our responsibility as media practitioners to go from here into the world and start telling good stories about Africa.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show. They are returning to Nigeria. I just got a job with the University of Johannesburg. So, hello, you have to go back. So the show returns same time, same station. A big thank you to our sponsors, MTN, and our partners at the Pan Atlantic University. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Well done.
That was a good one.